The movie is Obsession, which was written and directed by Curry Barker. This horror film follows Bear, a hopeless romantic who's infatuated with his friend and coworker Nikki. Bear buys and uses a one-wish willow to wish for Nikki's undying love, and unfortunately, he gets exactly what he asked for, as he soon discovers that some desires come at a dark and sinister price. This was a seriously unreal directorial debut from Curry Barker. This film shows that he clearly has the juice as a filmmaker, and I'm just so excited to see whatever he does next. More like Steph Curry Barker, because this kid's a lethal shooter. Like, you know, with a film camera to you shoot basketball, you shoot the basketball, you know. All right. Well, he made a truly outstanding horror film that's so impressive for so many reasons, from the lighting to the sound to the nuanced messaging that's deeply disturbing and that refuses to be ignored. I love the way this film was shot. Barker consistently plays with so many different elements in the film, and they all work. Like where Nikki is out of focus in the background, but you can still see her just watching Bear like a hawk. Or there were times where they messed with the frame rate or the playback to make Nikki look like this ghastly, inhuman thing because of the way she was moving, where she'd move at like 2x speed or even in reverse. Which, as I'm saying it, it sounds kind of hokey, but it doesn't come off that way at all. It is so unsettling and just like, it feels so off. It makes your skin crawl. Like, I'm telling you, you'll watch it and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The lighting is also absurdly good in this movie too. There were so many times where Nikki would be backlit or silhouetted in the shadows, which just had this incredibly effective, terrifying, and ominous feel to what would likely be almost laughable in a brightly lit room. The film also doesn't constantly hit you with jump scares where you're gonna get one every 5 minutes. But let me tell you that when they do hit, they're gonna hit like an 18-wheeler. Those things were so intense and so unsettling. There's a jump scare later on in the movie involving a brick. Everybody who's seen the movie knows exactly what I'm talking about. It had my jaw on the floor because it was so unhinged and horrific. It completely caught me off guard. The score and sound design were next level too. This is a movie that you should definitely see in a movie theater. But beyond that, if you can, I would really recommend trying to see this in a Dolby Atmos format because the audio is seriously special. It is truly fantastic. Also, there are some really surprising laughs in the film too. You can definitely tell that Barker knows that horror and comedy are two sides of the same coin because he manages to do both really well. And don't get me wrong, this film is firmly a horror film, despite the few moments of comedic relief. It goes without saying, but it also deserves to be said, Inde Navarrette was truly sensational as Nikki. People are already campaigning for her to get nominated for an Oscar for this role, and as crazy as that sounds, just given she's relatively unknown and this is a horror film, I honestly think she would absolutely deserve it because she was so unbelievable in this role. I really cannot say enough good things about the two leads. In my opinion, they are a massive, massive part of why the film worked so well. All right, I don't normally do this, but I feel like I need to for this film in order to really get into the meat of this film, to get into the substance of what it really is. I have to talk some spoilers. So if you want to avoid any and all spoilers, pause the video right now. Pause it. I'll give you a good long break to pause it. Watch the film and come back right here afterwards and you can watch the rest of the video. So pause it here. Last chance. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. In my opinion, a big part of what makes this movie so unique and really as good as it is the way that Curry Barker swiftly changes your perspective on who the monster really is. At first, Bear seems like a really nice, regular guy. Like, he seems like a regular dude who's maybe a little shy, maybe doesn't have the best luck with the ladies, but, you know, he seems to really care for Nikki. He doesn't want to risk ruining their friendship by confessing his feelings for her. But once he's wished for her to fall in love with him, there are a few different opportunities, key pivotal moments where he has the opportunity to do the right thing. At first, when she's all over him and it's very uncharacteristic of her, you can tell he has a thought of like, could this be the one wish willow? And he even Google searches it, which tells him, you know, probably not, maybe, but probably not. And so he kind of quickly dismisses it. I think he's still redeemable at that point because I think there's a genuine, like, maybe she has always liked me and I've always liked her and I've never told her. So maybe vice versa is happening. Yes, she's acting very strange, but, you know, weirder things have happened. She is supposedly on Molly, on MDMA. Her dad's supposedly dying. So I think there's like an element of like, okay, you could understand that to a degree, right? And honestly, I don't think many people would believe like, yeah, this little toy that I got in sort of a magic shop worked. Like, that's not your first instinct. Yes, she was acting very weird. So I think that's why he had the thought. But I think it's sort of like easier to dismiss at that point. The problem with Bear really begins when he knows that she's lying about her dad. He knows that she's acting more than weird. She's acting completely unlike herself, totally erratically. And he even confirms the exact wording of his wish, that she loves him more than anyone else in the world. And at that point, we as the audience know that he knows that the one wish Willow has worked. Whether or not he wants to believe it, he does believe it. He knows that it's worked. He's confirmed it. And there's this heinous, horrific jump scare of them in bed together where she's obviously not consenting because she can't. And it's a very clear message that he knows this isn't really her. And he doesn't care because it's what he wants. That idea at its core is why this movie is so disturbing and honestly why it's so good. It's the reason that I think it's a powerful film in so many different ways, is because there's this crazy reversal. Like it's such a distinct change where you go from looking at this guy who you kind of sympathized with. Like I think everybody looks at him as a sympathetic figure at first. And then you kind of look at him as really a monster. And the movie just continues to hammer that home. Like he's on the phone with the One Wish Willow Company and he doesn't want to cancel the wish. He wants to alter it. He's very specific about that. And mostly it's not because he wants to alter it for her well-being or some real regard for her. It's because it's not really exactly what he wanted. It's not picture perfect, which is just, again, it just shows how bad of a guy he really is. He really only wants to cancel once he hears that alterations aren't an option, which of course is really self-serving. And he even hears Nikki's cries of agony on the phone. And his response isn't like, oh, okay, I have to stop this immediately. It's, okay, how can I fix this so that she's still in love with me, but not acting erratically and dangerously and kind of not in my best interest. It also works so well in large part because Bear is nuanced. Like he's very realistically written where he is mostly nice and he's not this like obvious and total complete monster who openly has no regard for her well-being. But part of the magic of the film is that it definitely shows just how easily someone like him, who is seemingly nice and normal, can become monstrous by doing nothing, just by being passive and letting the real Nikki suffer in tremendous agony so that he's able to live out his fantasy. And Michael Johnston, who plays Bear, portrays this phenomenally. Like his often soft voice and his reactions and expressions feel so real. They make you feel like this is someone that you could actually know who, again, on the surface, you wouldn't think would be capable of such heinous acts. Legitimately, the only negative I can even think of is like there were a few moments early on where some of the intergroup dialogue felt a little off, like when they were at the bar scene. I don't know, something about it just felt a little off, but honestly, it was really well written overall, so I'm really kind of grasping at straws there. I thought this was an extraordinary horror film that managed to tell a new story with a plot device that's really been around for a long time. It had some of the best acting performances I've seen in a horror film from two largely new names. It had killer lighting that made everything all the more terrifying and malevolent. And it had hard to swallow themes and messaging that draws most of its horror from people instead of a magical willow branch. You can currently catch Obsession exclusively in movie theaters. So go watch Obsession. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel. It's really easy to do, helps me out, and it helps you get these videos on your homepage. So go do it. Like the video. That also really helps. And if you'd like, leave a comment letting me know what you thought of Obsession or what movie you want for me to review next. I put out a movie review each week, so subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks, y'all.